All right, chemistry, let's take a look at our worksheet for Chapter 5, Section 3. Start with number 1. When an electron is added to a neutral atom. Okay, so we're saying added here. So this is electron affinity. Now we have four choices here. Energy is always absorbed. It's always released, either absorbed or released, or neither absorbed or released. Now, we know from our definition of electron affinity that there's going to be an energy change when we add an electron to an atom. That's part of the definition of electron affinity. There's an energy change. Now, what we don't know is whether that energy change, okay, so delta E, sometimes delta H, but that's enthalpy. We'll talk about that later. But just the change in energy can sometimes be positive, right, when the system is gaining energy. That's energy being absorbed going into the system. We don't need to be familiar with that designation quite yet. But it could also be negative. There could be a negative energy change. And this would mean that the system is losing energy. Energy is flowing out of the system. And what does that mean for us? Like, what are we supposed to know from this? How are we supposed to use this information to problem solve? It means that if the system is losing energy, that is a lower energy construct. And nature favors lower energy constructs. But that's not to say that we sometimes can see a positive delta E. That means that energy is being absorbed. But we can have energy being released. So we can cut out both of the options that say always, because always absorb means there's no possibility of releasing energy. Always release means there's no possibility of absorbing energy. And we need to have both of those options. We know that's not neither because we need to have both options. So we're going to go with C, either absorbed or released. That's why you see on those tables that talk about electron affinity, that's why you see some values that are positive and some values that are negative. It's not a negative amount of energy or a positive amount of energy. It's telling you which direction the energy is going. Is the energy going into the system, or is the energy leaving the system? It's a little bit tricky to get started, but once you get a handle on the definition of electron affinity, it starts to get just a little bit easier.